What is up, rock and metal fans? All right, so I'm back with another addition to the For Those About a Rock series. Obviously, just to recap, this is a series that I'm putting together instead of doing countdowns of different albums and all that. I just want to pick out for someone who's new to different bands, someone who's new to or a new listener to rock and metal, or the more casual fan. If they really want to get into a band, what are the albums that they can probably check out? Because I'm a bit old school, like many of you guys out there, and love albums, love songs, but I'm more of an album guy. There's just something interesting about an album. It's a certain slice of time, a chapter in a band's history, the lineup, many different things. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I have top songs of different bands and so on, but just going with albums is a bit fun. So anyway, diving into it, a lot of guys asked me to do Slayer. So yeah, I am into the heavier stuff, but Slayer is probably one of those bands that probably I'd go with one of my most extreme bands. After that, I kind of get just kind of stop over there. But definitely do love Slayer. I think it's a great band. I think they've really achieved a lot, and now they finally have pulled the curtain down on their career, and just want to thank them for everything that they've done. So without further ado, let's get into what are the 3 records that I would recommend. So the first one is Show No Mercy, their debut. And I gotta say, guys, I mean, when I first heard this album, and I think even till today, what I look at it more like is, while you have different songs on this, and obviously the title track as well, but I look at it more like a solid, if I'm not wrong, 40-piece music song by itself. I mean, not to say that all the songs sound the same or anything, but it's just that from start to finish, it's an album that you want to hear straight through. And it's actually about a little less than 35 minutes, but the thing is that it sounds like one solid piece of heavy metal. You just want to hear it straight through and so on. But if I had to pick and choose a few songs, I think Die by the Sword, Metal Storm, Face the Slayer, but my personal favorite is Cryonics, if I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am. And obviously the title track, Show No Mercy. But it's a great album. Definitely check it out. It really gives you a good sense of what early thrash was like, and just how big of a force this band really was. And the next album that I would actually pick from their illustrious discography is, and obviously had to be this one. Now, this is to Slayer what Rust in Peace is to Megadeth, Master of Puppets is to Metallica, British Steel is to Judas Priest, Master of Reality or Paranoid is to Black Sabbath, or Machine Head is to Deep Purple, and so on. This is what most fans would agree is the crowning achievement of Slayer's career. This is the album that most fans will defend to the death. Literally, I mean, this is an album that everybody loves, myself included. And I think that the real highlight on this album is, apart from the opening track, which is Angel of Death, but I think the crowning achievement is the very last one, which is you could sort of say, Rain in Blood is the title of the album. Raining Blood is the final track, but I think Raining Blood with that thunderstorm and that sort of like distant drumming that is done in the background. And I think that the way in which the guitar duo of the late Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King, the way in which they actually play this, and when it really kicks off in high gear, it's just wow. I mean, straight out the gate, it's just like one hell of a song to actually listen to. Not to take away from the other songs on this album, all great pieces of music. It's something that you guys have to really hear to really believe. So do check this one out. It's really awesome. And as a final album, I mean, I will have to admit that this was a bit of a challenge, because another album there's called Seasons in the Abyss. Seasons in the Abyss came very close, but I'd have to go with this one, which is World Painted Blood. There's just something very, very cool about this album. From the title track itself to songs like Playing with Dolls and Psychopathy Red and Human Strain, and American. I think there's just a pretty unique feel about this. I think there's a pretty interesting texture. I think that the band was really sounding very good and very strong. I know some fans might be a little disappointed because they probably might say more than this would be have been the next one, which is the album Repentless. But I think World Painted Blood is a very strong album. I think it's a great tribute to the late Jeff Hanneman. So because I mean this was I think the last album he played on. Obviously, there are some song ideas which were used on their follow-up album, which happened to ended up being their last album, which was Repentless, which I mentioned. But I think overall, as an album, it's straight through. It's solid. It has diversity. It has some great guitar tones, some great soloing. I think it has some pretty poignant lyrics as well, and I think that it's an album that really showcases a pretty interesting vocal style by Tom Araya as well. So there you have it. Those are the three albums that I think would be the ones to really check out from Slayer's discography. You guys let me know what you think, whether you agree or disagree. You don't have to agree with my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys feel. Obviously, Slayer has a very strong, very loyal fan base, and I'm sure that's going to always be there. I'm definitely a fan, will always be. Love to know what you guys think, and I will look forward to talking to you guys soon. So, till then, guys, take care and rock on.